Alright, welcome back. So in the previous video, we went over the reading passage number 1. This time we'll go over reading passage number 2. So we're basically going to be repeating the same thing that you saw me do with the passage number 1. We are going to first do the easy questions and then we will do the difficult questions at the end. Here we have a reading passage on the intersection of health sciences and geography. Let us come down to our questions. So here we can see that we have a paragraph location question. And then down here, we have a sentence completion question. So which one of these questions do you think we should do first? The paragraph location question or the sentence completion question? If you guessed sentence completion question, then you are correct. Because these questions, they go mostly in order, whereas the paragraph location questions don't. So what we will do is we will do these easy questions first, and then we will do this question set. But before we do these sentence completion questions, we still have to mark the keywords. So we're going to be marking the keywords from the paragraph location question so that we can have these keywords in the back of our minds so that when we are searching for our answers to these easy questions, we can be in a better position to answer these when we do return back to them at the end. So let's go ahead and start to mark these keywords. So here with number 14, we have acceptance, eliminated. Number 15, we are looking for examples of physical conditions. Okay, some sort of physical conditions that are caused by human behavior. Remember guys, we are looking for very specific information when it comes to paragraph location questions. We are looking for very specific information. In number 16, it says that we have to look for a reference to classifying diseases. Okay, so we are looking for some sort of classification of diseases. Based on what? Based on the geography. Based on how far they extend geographically. Number 17, we are looking for reasons why access to healthcare can vary, can be different within a country. We can also go ahead and include this part, can vary. Now here with question number 18, we are looking for a description of health geography. Okay, as a mixture, it's a mixture of different academic fields. And finally, question number 19, we have a particular illness that we are looking for, and this illness is quite rare. A rare illness. Maybe just that part. And that is pretty much it. I think we have most of our keywords here, all the good ones anyways. So we're going to keep these keywords in the back of our minds when we go around hunting for the answers to these questions. So let's go ahead and mark the keywords here as well, and then we'll start to answer these questions. Okay, so certain diseases have disappeared. So we are looking for the disappearance of certain diseases thanks to what? Something improved, something changed, something became better. Healthcare. Number 21, contact between people and losing their usefulness. Question number 22, we are looking for disease causing something. That is probably going to be a noun, that has to be a noun. A disease causing what? Something. And hot, damp regions. Those are good keywords. They should be easy to find. Then here with number 23, we have pollution. We are looking for a cause of pollution that burns a particular fuel. Then here we have growth of cities, impact on nearby, what? Nearby something. Probably some sort of an area. Number 25, we are looking for dash is one disease. Okay, so maybe a type of disease. We are looking for a type of disease that has been eradicated. It has been eradicated. But it is growing, see? It is growing after having been eradicated. So that's what we're looking for. And then finally, number 26, we are looking for a physical barrier such as what? So probably an example of a physical barrier. And this barrier prevents people from reaching the hospital. Perfect. So here we have all of our keywords now, and I am now going to start answering these questions. Before I do that, I'm going to browse over these keywords one more time just so I can have them in the back of my mind. So here we go. We are looking for acceptance, eliminated, physical conditions, human behavior, classifying diseases based on geography, the reasons why access to healthcare can vary, health geography as a mixture, and then finally a rare illness. And then down here, I'm going to start off by first looking for this keyword, hot, damp regions, and then pollution is also a good one. But I'm going to go with this one. I think that this is the easiest one to find. So let's look for this keyword first and then we'll work our way around it. Hot, damp regions is what we're looking for. Here we go. I remember seeing something about being eradicated. I'm just going to be marking them for now. Okay. Here it's talking about geography. Remember, we had something about that. Geographical region. There we go. Warm and damp environment. What is that synonym language for? Warm and damp environment is synonym language for this part right here. Hot, damp regions. So we're going to find our answer there for question number 22. Right here, warm and damp environment. Most probably we're going to find our answers here, but let's go ahead and read this part. So this is probably going to be our matching sentence. So here it says, perhaps one of the most obvious examples of this idea is malaria-prone areas, which are usually tropical regions that foster a warm and damp environment in which the mosquitoes that can give people this disease can grow. Okay. So this question right here is asking us, disease-causing dash are most likely to be found in hot, damp regions. Disease-causing what? What? Says that up here. Malaria-prone areas, which can give rise to mosquitoes. They foster mosquitoes. Disease-causing what? Disease-causing mosquitoes. It is these mosquitoes that give people this disease. So that is going to be our correct answer for question number 22. I'm going to put 22 right next to that. Okay, so now that we know where the answer to 22 is, we can figure out the rest of them. So maybe we'll start off by first looking for question number 20 and 21, since they will come before this part. So let's look for that first. 20 and 21, so we'll start with 21. So we are looking for contact between people and losing their usefulness. Contact and losing usefulness. Does it say anything about that here? Okay, not quite there, maybe up here. Here, contact. People come into contact and I don't see anything about usefulness or losing usefulness. Let's just read this part, then we'll figure it out. So right here we found our keyword. People come into contact. So we're going to be reading this sentence, the sentence in which this keyword appears. It starts from over here. In a world that is far more globalized than ever before, people come into contact with one another through travel and living closer and closer to each other. So haven't found my answer yet. Let's keep reading on. As a result, superviruses and other infections resistant to antibiotics are becoming more and more common. Okay, so they're talking about resistance to antibiotics, how these superviruses and these infections no longer respond to antibiotics, to medicines. So here they're talking about how these medicines are losing their usefulness. They're losing their usefulness because they no longer work. So what no longer works? Antibiotics, they no longer work. That is going to be our answer. So let's come down to our question. Here the question says, we are at number 21. It says, because there is more contact between people, what are losing their usefulness? The answer is, of course, antibiotics. Over here, the answer was mosquitoes. Let us now answer this question, question number 20. So question number 20 says, certain diseases have disappeared thanks to better what? Thanks to better something and healthcare. Okay, so two things have helped in eradicating certain diseases. Healthcare and something else. Let's find out. So question number 22 was here, 21 was here, so 20 has to be up here. Probably, right? These questions, they go mostly in order. So we're going to assume that they're going to be in order. But very rarely they may not be, okay? About maybe 20% of the times they may not be in order. So here we go, we are looking for eradication. Here we go. It talked about how some diseases have been eradicated. Due to what? Due to improvements in vaccinations and availability of healthcare. So we were looking for two things. One of them we already knew was healthcare. The other thing that changed, that got better, was vaccinations. So vaccinations is going to be the correct answer for question number 20. Thanks to better vaccinations and healthcare. Now let's move on to question number 23. Here we are looking for pollution and particular fuel. Those are our keywords. So the question says, one cause of pollution is dash that burn a particular fuel. So something burns a particular fuel. Let's find out. 22 was here, so 23 has to be down here. So here I already see the word pollution. That is one of our keywords. Let's see if there's anything else, something related to fuel, a particular fuel. Here I see coal. Coal is a type of fuel. And here it mentions pollution again. Okay, so let's start from over here. It says, in many large cities, the wind is not strong enough to clear the air of the massive amounts of smog and pollution that cause all of these diseases. Okay, let's move on down here. Part of the problem is, of course, the massive number of cars. Okay, cars are using fuel, probably, right? The massive number of cars being driven, in addition to factories that run on coal power. Okay, so factories also use fuel. But which is going to be the correct answer, guys? Cars or factories? Let's look at this down here. One cause of pollution is dash that burn a particular fuel. We're not just looking for any fuel, we're looking for a very particular fuel. So what is the correct answer? Cars or factories? Over here, it's talking about how part of the problem is cars. Cars create pollution. But it's saying that in addition to cars, we also have factories that run on coal power. Coal is a very specific type of fuel. So that's why the correct answer is going to be factories, not cars, because it mentions cars, but it doesn't say that cars use a particular type of fuel. It doesn't say that in this passage. So the correct answer is factories, because factories do use a particular type of fuel called coal. Let's put 23 right there. And let's come down to our questions. And the answer here is going to be factories. Now let's move on to the next question, question number 24. It says, the growth of cities often has an impact on nearby what? Nearby what? Something. Some sort of an area. So we are looking for keywords growth of cities and impact on nearby. Let's take a look. So here we had the answer to question number 23. So 24 probably will be after that. Maybe over here or down here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We see the word expansion. That is synonym language for growth. Here we see big cities. And here I also see the word countries. Recent years led to cutting down of forests. Okay, I think we're going to find our answer here. So let's just read this sentence. The rapid industrialization of some countries in recent years has also led to the cutting down of forests to allow for the expansion of big cities, which makes it even harder to fight the pollution with the fresh air that is produced by plants. So it's basically saying that because of industrialization, the cities are seeing a lot of growth, and because the cities are growing, we have to cut down more and more forests, and if the plants are dead, then it becomes harder to fight the pollution. So if we come down to our question here, look at what the question is asking us for. We are looking for a nearby area that was impacted because of the growth of cities. What was impacted as a result of the growth of cities? The answer is forests. Forests. Remember, it said that we have to cut down the forests in order to make space for the growing city. So that is the correct answer there. And the next question, question number 25, says, dash is one disease that is growing after having been eradicated. So let's find out what that disease is. It's probably going to be a type of disease or the name of a disease. So let's find out what disease is growing after having been eradicated. Okay, so that was our answer to question number 24. The answer to question number 25 will probably be somewhere down here. So let's take a look. Okay, here it says re-emerging. Re-emerging. What does it mean to re-emerge? To re-emerge means to come back or to return. So that is synonym language for how diseases are coming back after. So that is synonym language for how diseases are coming back after having been eradicated. It's saying that diseases continue to spread, that they are still growing. They are re-emerging and they are growing. So let's read this sentence here. It's probably going to be our matching sentence. It says, it is an increasingly important area of study in a world where diseases like polio are re-emerging, respiratory diseases continue to spread, and malaria-prone areas are still fighting to find a better cure. So which disease has returned back after having been eradicated? Which disease? It says right here, diseases like polio are re-emerging. So polio is going to be the correct answer for question number 25. Polio. I'm going to put 25 right there. And let's fill that in. Polio is one disease that is growing after having been eradicated. Remember, guys, we can only have an answer that is one word only. Always be mindful of the instructions. I didn't mention that before, but I'm sure you figured that out. Okay, now question number 26, our final one. We are looking for a physical barrier, some sort of a physical barrier that can prevent people from reaching a hospital. Okay, let's find out what that is. So here we have our question number 25 right there. So 26 will probably be down here. Okay, here I see the word health geography. Health geography. I remember seeing that. Health geography. There we go. Right here I see health geography. That is for our paragraph location question. So if I see it, what I can do is I can just kind of mark it. I'll just use a different type of marking just so I don't confuse myself. Let's see. Here, I'll do this. I'll just put a box around it. Health geography. So I can come back to this later on when I come back to my paragraph location questions. Okay, so we are looking for a physical barrier that is going to prevent people, right? So here I see the word prevention. And I'm looking for a sort of physical barrier, a type of physical barrier. I don't see that here. It does talk about geography, but I don't see the example of physical barrier. So let's just keep moving on. Don't see a physical barrier there either. Nope, not there either. I do see it. I do see the word difficult here. It says that the levels of healthcare in the area, let's see. Yeah, may be difficult. That to get access to this healthcare may be difficult for people if there is a mountain between their village and the nearest hospital. So here we have a bunch of keywords. We have the keyword hospital. We have the word difficult, which is synonym language for this down here. Prevent people. It can prevent people, so it can make it more difficult. It can make it difficult to get healthcare or to get medical attention. Those are synonym words. So I'm pretty sure the answer is here. In fact, I already see an example of our physical barrier, but let's go ahead and read this sentence from over here. Individuals working in the area of the geography of healthcare provision attempt to assess the levels of healthcare in the area. For instance, it may be very difficult for people to get medical attention because there is a mountain between their village and the nearest hospital. And then it goes on to talk about some other stuff that doesn't seem to be related to the physical barrier. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to be my answer because that is an example of a physical barrier. It doesn't say physical barrier, but that is an example of physical barrier, and we have found the rest of our keywords here, so that is going to be the correct answer. So let's just fill that in. Mountain. And there we go. We are now finished with the sentence completion questions, and we are now going to return back to these paragraph location questions. And guys, when we start to answer these questions, you're going to see how much easier it is to answer these questions now, because now we are already familiar with this reading passage because we did these easy questions first. So with these questions, we're going to start off by answering the questions for which we have already found some information or keywords. I remember seeing health geography, so I will start over there and then we'll figure out the rest of these. So you may remember that I put a box around this keyword, health geography. So we might find our answer somewhere around here. So here it talks about health geography, and the keyword health geography also appears over here. So it seems that this paragraph is mainly going to be talking about health geography. So let's go ahead and find out what exactly health geography is. Here it seems to be defining the definition. It says health geography is the combination of, on the one hand, knowledge regarding geography and methods used to analyze and interpret geographical information, and on the other, the study of health, diseases, and healthcare practices around the world. The aim of this hybrid science, okay, hybrid science, that is synonym language, which means a mixture. A hybrid is a mixture of two or more things. So the aim of this hybrid science is to create solutions for common geography-based problems. Okay, so we now know that health geography is basically a mixture of different disciplines, different fields of study. Here, question number 18 says, a description of health geography as a mixture of different academic fields. So the matching question for paragraph D is going to be question number 18. So let's put that answer choice right there. By the way, take note that here it does say that you may use any letter more than once. That means that any of the answer choices that we put over here can be used more than once. So right here we have a total of 6 questions and we have paragraphs A through H. So that is basically the whole reading passage, A through H. So that is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. That is a total of 8 paragraphs. So we have 8 paragraphs and 6 questions. But we may not use some of these paragraphs because we can use the same answer choice twice. So very, very important to always be mindful of these instructions up here. You may use any letter more than once, and these are the answer choices and the questions. Okay, so let us move on now, and let's see, where should we start? Let's see, what should we do next? Perhaps we'll start over here. Physical conditions caused by human behavior, because I remember an area where it talked about cars and factories and the different ways in which humans are affecting the environment, affected by human behavior. So I remember it talked about that somewhere up here. Here we go, right here it talked about pollution and how we are affecting the world by using all these machines like cars and using factories, and because of rapid industrialization. All of this is synonym language for human behavior, things that are caused by human behavior. So this part right here where it says part of the problem is of course the massive number of cars being driven in addition to factories that run on coal power, the rapid industrialization and yada yada yada. All of this stuff is talking about examples of physical conditions caused by human behavior. The fact that we now have pollution in the air is a physical condition. So that paragraph, paragraph C, is going to be the correct fit for question number 15. Great. Let's move on to the next question. The next one that I want to answer is this one right here, because I remember seeing something about the level of access to healthcare. I do know where that paragraph is. It talked about over here how the access to the level of healthcare can be difficult in certain areas because of physical barriers like a mountain. So we might find our answer over here. Let's just double check. So the question here is asking us for reasons why the level of access to healthcare can vary within a country. What are the reasons, right? It's asking us for different reasons. So let's take a look. I'm looking for any keywords related to rare, something that is not common, not frequent, anything related to that. Check this out, guys. Here it says, much less of a problem. Much less of a problem is synonym language for rare in this case. Because you may remember up here, when we were answering the easy questions, it talked about how in warm and hot, damp environments, mosquitoes can give rise to diseases. Well, it's saying that this disease, malaria, which is caused by mosquitoes, is not a problem in high altitude deserts. In other words, malaria is rare in high altitude deserts. That is tricky synonym language. So you have to keep an eye out for things like this. Keywords can be hidden right in front of you, and you have to be able to detect it to figure out how that keyword is hiding in a paragraph. So malaria is an illness, and this illness is very rare in this area. So question number 19 is asking us about a description of the type of area where a particular illness is rare. Yes, malaria is rare in which area? In high altitude deserts. So the correct answer for question number 19 is going to be the letter B. Okay, 2 more left, number 14 and number 16. So let's just start to scan for, perhaps we'll start here. This looks like a better keyword. Classifying diseases geographically. So we are looking for anything related to classification of diseases based on geographic factors. Mentions geography here, but it doesn't say anything about classifying the diseases. Nope, that whole paragraph is about pollution. This whole paragraph is pretty much about health geography. I don't see it there either. Nothing there. Here we go. Here it's talking about how the interactions between humans and the environment could lead to illnesses, different illnesses. So basically, the different type of geography can expose you to different types of illnesses. So that seems to be talking about this part, how we can classify diseases based on geography. So here it's talking about geography, environment is geography. And then down here it's talking about how health geographers can map the spread of illnesses, right? They can map the spread of illnesses and attempt to identify the reasons behind an increase or decrease in illness, basically based on geographical factors. So they can map it based on how far the disease extends geographically. So that is going to be the correct answer choice for question number 16. That is going to be F. Now we only have one more left, question number 14. So let us look for this keyword, acceptance. We are looking for an acceptance that not all diseases can be totally eliminated. Where does it say that? Acceptance. Okay, let's check over here if we see something. Here is just talking about geography and malaria. Okay, it doesn't say anything about acceptance there. That is just talking about pollution. I think that may be our answer there. I'm not quite sure. An acceptance that not all diseases can be totally eliminated. It does seem to be talking about that. Because take a look at this. It talks about eradication of illnesses over here. And over here it says, people will always be prone to illnesses. So to be prone to illness means to be exposed to illness. It's basically saying that we will always have diseases. We cannot get rid of them completely. So the sentence says, while people will always be prone to illness, the study of how geography affects our health could lead to the eradication of certain illnesses and the prevention of others in the future. So when we say that people are always going to be prone to illness, that is synonym language for acceptance. because we are accepting that this is always going to happen, and the best that we can do is just figure out ways to minimize it. Okay, so the correct answer to question number 14, an acceptance that not all diseases can be totally eliminated, that is found in paragraph D. There we go. So the letter D is used twice over here, 14 and number 18, and then everything else is used just once. Great. So those are all of our answers for the paragraph location questions and for the sentence completion questions. So that's it for this one. In the next video, we're going to finish up this reading test by doing our final passage, which is going to be passage number 3. So I'll see you there.